Well, hello, welcome back. I'm Auntie Sarah from CoffeeCraft, and today I want to go over a new beginner sewing project. This project would be good to do for sewers of any level because it really is just straight line sewing, and you can do this with or without a sewing machine. Today I'll be using a sewing machine, but this would be just as easy to do by hand if you prefer. This tutorial shows for example, how to make a drawstring bag sized for a child, but you can size this up to any size you prefer. To get started here, we're going to take any fabric you like. I think that the receiver that I'm making this bag for would enjoy this Cars fabric pretty well. So we are going to make a couple cuts. We're going to need 4 pieces that are about 13 inches by 10 inches. And we're going to want whatever your pattern is to be facing the taller dimension. So you see here the Cars fabric would be lined up to the 13-inch mark. Then we're going to take our pieces and put them right sides together and sew along one short end and both of the long ends. So once that's sewn, you can go ahead and cut off the excess fabric that would be in the seam allowance, and then turn one piece right side out, and then we're going to nest that right side out piece inside of the wrong side out piece. So you should see the wrong side on both the inside and the outside once they're nested together. And then we're going to sew the seam closed where they line up. So I suggest marking 2 spots where you don't want to sew between. And for this example, I just used a couple fingers wide, and then we're just going to sew along this entire opening. We're going to go ahead and cut the seam that we had sewn closed on the long edges from the top, just wide enough for our cord to fit through once we have this right side out. So then we're going to turn this right side out and make sure that you nest your corners nice and tidy. And then I hand sewed the those seam ripped seams just so that the fabric wouldn't fray on the outside of the bag here. And then once you're ready for the lower connection for your cords, I suggest that you either look into metal grommets, or you could even just hand sew this hole as well. But either way, you're going to have to cut 2 holes near the bottom of your bag, and I suggest cutting through all 4 pieces of fabric just with a pair of scissors. And then I practiced my grommet skills. It turned out to be a little bit more difficult than I remember the last time, but this is just part of sewing. It's really just, you gotta practice it. So whichever way you prefer, if you'd prefer to practice your hand sewing, go ahead and hand sew those holes just around as if it was a buttonhole, or go ahead and try these grommets. We're going to thread the drawstring through the top channel of the bag, and it's going to go around the bag and out the same hole that you put it in through initially. And you're going to do that for both sides, and make sure that the loops that you create do not intertwine, that they nest right on top of each other. And then once they're both threaded, you can go ahead and thread the either grommet holes or hand sewn closed holes with your cord, and then tie it off. And you have created a drawstring bag. This was so much fun to do. Honestly, it took me an afternoon to complete, and that was even with my kind of fluffing around with the grommets. But I enjoyed making this bag, and the little boy I made this for seems to really enjoy the fact that he could put all of his cars in his Cars bag. So this is a great project to do as a beginner, and I hope that if you do get inspired to make something like this, you go ahead and tag us either on Instagram or Facebook, or even just write in the comments below and let me know if you've got any questions for sewing or any ideas for new sewing projects. I'd love to hear your ideas. I can't wait to see what we craft together next time, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.